Hello and welcome to World of Wigan. And although this is not a Christmas special per se, Merry Christmas! I'm stuck. I am stuck.
Hello and welcome to World of Wigan, the news show all about news in Wigan. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/World of Wigan, or Facebook, facebook.com/World of Wigan. Police search concluded.
Lads, here! Lads! Found it!
Man goes spur at traffic warden.
Hey, what the fuck? Right. Hey, mate! You! What's that on the front of my car? Hey?
I cannot see.
My back's been turned 2 minutes and it's right on the front of my car.
I cannot see, sir.
You can see those wipers.
Let's have a look.
They weren't there before, were they? Hey, that's fucking disgraceful, that.
They're the wipers that when the rain falls down.
I know the bleeding wipers, they weren't there before, were they?
Yes, they were, sir.
Hey, don't get smart with me, mate. I'm giving you a week. I'm going to write to the council about... Are you from the council?
I'm not from the council.
You're not from the council? What are you going to do about this?
There's nothing much I can do, sir.
There's nothing much.
A close call for Wigan skyscraper.
Holy shit! Close call.
And following that footage, we have received several complaints. Here's Sonia in the hub.
Yes, we've had a few comments and tweets from our viewers. Anne from Higher End has said, as if the families of 9/11 haven't gone through enough. Now this. June from Oral has tweeted, it's not that I found it offensive, I just didn't find it funny. And Paul from Tildesley has said, so flying planes into building is funny now, is it? Perhaps we should fly a plane into your house and see how funny that is. Rachel from Lee has said, do we really pay...
Incident has caused so much outrage, and Tom Berzinger of the New York Times even went so far as to say these two clowns are the epitome of the growing anti-American left agenda, putting them on a par with terrorists themselves. He ends the article by saying, how low can these Brits go?
At the end of the day, there's a little girl, our little girl missing, and we just want to try until we find her.
Kate, I want to hear from you. You're very determined, aren't you?
I think that's right, really. I think we've courted a lot of publicity from this in the whole...
At the end of the day, like you were saying, that like, we're going to try our hardest. We're going to try our hardest to try and get back our little girl, and I think that's what she's trying to say.
Okay, sure. I also understand that you both refute the allegations that you gave your little girl sedatives.
That didn't happen. That absolutely did not happen. I found that quite insulting, actually. I can't believe that someone would bring that up and say something like that at this time. I think I
Hey guys, who wants to play baseball?
Forget it! Cheap pillows.
heard that a few times, Marie.
That's not even a joke. But it's not. Why are you guys laughing? This isn't funny. No, I need it, guys. It's not funny. Just stop laughing. Stop laughing already. Come on, guys.
Again, apologies to viewers. That skyscraper was, of course, in St Helens, not in Wigan. On with the headlines.
Wigan pensioner's life is a lie.
He went down there, he pulled a chicken's neck out, took it to my mother, said there's Sunday dinner.
What's the world of Wigan? Fantastic.
Humans have an insatiable fascination with wild animals, and every year hundreds of Wiganers go to their local zoo for a full day of animal gazing.
Yes, this interest in animals is nothing new. Zoos have been entertaining people with exotic animal collections as far back as 1992, when Sean Edwards opened up his doors to the viewing public.
Now, we've moved on a bit since then. So to find out how far, WOW reporter Mol Turf paid a visit to Wigan's newest zoo, Zuzu and the Banshees.
When I was told that I'd be going to the zoo for the day, I thought my boss had given me the day off and was offering me some advice. But he hadn't, and he wasn't. Instead, I was to investigate the strangest zoo in Wigan. Zuzu and the Banshees opened last week and made the news immediately with its unique take on the good old traditional animal prison, or zoo. I met up with owner Gail Harmless over a cup of coffee and a fag.
So Gail, what's different about your zoo?
I'd argue that this is completely different from anything that you're ever going to experience. It's a place for people to go up at nature without fear of being trampled on or knifed to death.
Right. But what are the main attractions? What are people most interested in seeing?
Probably the bear.
Right. A bear?
Yeah.
Right, sure. Right.
Shocked?
A little.
We're quite traditional here, but traditional with a twist. We don't buy into that fancy trend of having weird birds with cocks where its nose should be, or an alligator that can use word.
Right.
And I know the alarm bells start ringing when you hear the word traditional, but let me tell you, every one of our animals is looked after, cared for, and the moment they show signs that they want to leave, we release them.
Go take a look?
Sure.
Gail then took me inside to meet the animals.
Here we are.
Right.
This is the name exhibition.
Okay.
This is Ryan. There's the bear.
Right. Hello, Ryan.
And that's George the croc over there.
Hello, George.
And I think that's little Johnny Spade down the back of there.
Right. What is this?
Pardon?
What's happening here?
The llama is playing with a wabbit.
No, it's not. We're just in an empty room and there's nothing in it. Nothing is happening here. I mean, what is this? Are you making some sort of grand
I have to ask you
statement?
to stay away from there. It's very dangerous.
There's nothing happening.
It's very dangerous. Now you've done
it. Now, if only we could add some poetry to proceedings. I feel a bit low.
You mean get a poet to do some poetry on the show?
Yeah, what's the name of that poet in Wigan? The one who doesn't moan?
The one who gave me that bone? It's Duckstone?
Yes, him. Leave me alone.
Hi, I'm Doug Stone, and welcome to my latest effort. It's called Orgasm. Here goes. That feeling inside me, I'm aching to come. That feeling inside me might be yesterday's rum. That feeling inside me goes from my balls to my tum. That feeling inside me, I'm going to ruin that bum.
Paralysis. What's that, you say? Well, if I said that 1 in 10 of you suffer from it, would you know now? Okay, what if I told you that it's a public piss syndrome? a fear of weeing in public toilets. Would you know now?
And if you do suffer from slow dribbles or getting your cock out in front of other men, this segment might be of interest to you. You don't suffer from that, do you, Jamie? Oh, fucking hell.
This is Trey Goodman. He suffers from pyreuresis, but now he's cured. This is his story.
I don't know, I've suffered with it from as long as I can remember, really. I've no need to feel embarrassed, I'm healthy. 6 inches, as they say, you know.
So, your average size?
Well, I mean, 6 inches is just above average, but...
No, there's no exact figure. It's a range of 5.5 to 6.3.
Well, yeah, exactly, that's the range. So, I mean, you know, the average of that would be, 5.9, so...
So, you're a millimetre over the mean?
Well, no, I mean, if we're splitting hers, I'm actually just over 6 inches.
Well...
6.2 or something, but...
Well, why say 6 inches?
You know, I'm not going to say, you know, I'm a healthy 6.2 inches. That would make me sound like
a cock.
Well, no, that's a bit fucking rude, to be honest.
Well, you challenged it. But it was your cock.
Well, listen, how big are you?
It doesn't matter how big I am.
You see, you won't answer the question.
I didn't challenge the facts.
Well, you know, it sounds like you've got something to hide now.
Okay, I'm 8 inches.
What?
I'm 8 inches. But it's not important.
You're 8 inches.
Get
what?
it
You're
back.
about 5'6".
I'm 8
and
inches.
You're 8 inches. Presumably you don't suffer from paralysis.
No, I don't see why.
Well, perhaps you won't mind getting your cock out and pissing in front of us.
It's a crass idea.
Okay, well you're 8 inches then.
It doesn't lend itself to debate.
You don't need proof, you're 8 inches, that's fine.
Fine, I'll do it. Where's the toilet?
This was an unnecessary hold-up, but I had to put our male egos back on the shelf so I could get to the bottom of Trey's pyreuresis.
Fucking hell.
You had creepy pee-pee, and you couldn't piss in front of men.
Yeah, so, you know, I'd be about to pee and it just wasn't coming. It was like, you know, I felt no different than I would in my own bathroom, but it just didn't want to emerge. The worst thing was when I got prepared and some other guy would come in and stand next to me and he'd start pissing and I'd be stood there and stuck, you know, just not pissing, and I'd think, Jesus, what must he be thinking? And I used to think about football. My favourite team's Preston Hove End, and I used to imagine the game being played and the sound of the crowd singing, Preston, 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 you know, just repetitively. And I found it helped, but not enough. You know, sometimes I'd get a dribble, sometimes a few seconds of stream, but never enough to cure it, you know.
So, how did you cure it?
Do you remember Birds of a Feather?
The shit 90s sitcom with the saucy housewife?
It was really run-of-the-mill 90s BBC sitcom land. I mean, it had nothing particularly edgy about it.
Sharon, Tracy, just had to come and see you. I've had some wonderful news.
Don't tell me. That decorator you had in has come back to do some touching up.
Except for one thing.
Which was?
That theme tune. It was like something out of Casablanca, and I don't know, it was just like... I was just having a piss one time and it came in my mind and it worked, and suddenly it was like waterfalls, you know.
Niagara Falls.
No, that's ridiculous.
What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do when I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true? What'll I do that won't come true? What'll I do?
Breaking news now, and we're just hearing reports that a bomb has gone off in Wigan Town Centre. Our reporter Leroy Black is at the scene now. Leroy, can you give us a sense of what's happening?
Tomorrow night? Right, what's happening tomorrow night then?
Well, we're going to have... there's going to be 12 people there, and there's going to be two
teams. So you obviously you two are together. Richard, you're with Chris. Martin's with Martin Green. He's with he's with Danny. Danny Oakes is coming. Danny Oakes.
I've not seen him for a long time.
No one else.
He's 3-0 up.
I've been working overtime. Just want to come home and watch some clean family entertainment. Put on Challenge TV and I watched this 80s TV show. The presenter looked like a respectable man. Nothing that far in the show being what you might call edgy. Then it happened. He was saying goodbye to the audience, and there it was, quick as a flash.
See you next week. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
He had to rewind it, it was so quick. I kept playing it again and again. I just thought, you crafty bastard. It was all the derogatory hand gestures you could think of. You can only tell really if you slow it down though. Part of me admires him in a way. You know, the audacity and call of the man. Who knows why he did it? Maybe he's just fed up.
Our Hers Finch has been let off his leash again. This after his last wild goose chase revealed Bo Diddly Squat.
But that's all about to change, says the man himself, and why wouldn't he? Our producer will be keeping a close eye on this one.
Robbery. What's it all about? If I did this, society would find it unforgivable. Yet that's what the powers that be are doing to us all the time. I wanted to expose the debt collector. And I don't mean like this. I wanted to go right to the top. Probably not that far, Alan. Yeah, just bring it down a notch. Yeah, that's great. Considering my last investigation turned out to be a hoax, I was hoping to fish for bigger fish. And when a package landed in my office, I smelt a big scoop in the offing. This was MP Alan Tavern. Last week he was found guilty of fiddling tax expenses, at least by the gutter press. Tavern, however, is adamant he had no part in the scandal and contacted World of Wigan to help him out in exchange for some top secret information on none other than, wait for it, David Cameron. We shook on a deal and even went for lunch together. Crossed wires meant I ended up paying. I went back to World of Wigan hoping to be reimbursed, but they called it extracurricular. I said it was getting to the truth. I was denied reimbursement, which shows the lack of backing I have here. I should probably do a segment on my employer, but it's more than my job's worth. Anyway, Tavern was particularly convincing. His figures added up. As a highbrow journalist, I had to concoct a way of getting Tavern's truth out to the public. Okay, so I've just hooked you up to the lie detector. I'm just going to run a few basic questions by you, okay? Whatever I say, you just answer no, okay?
What do you mean?
Okay, so if I asked you, were you born in 1845, you would say...
No.
No, okay. All right. Okay, is the colour of your belt green?
Yes.
Well, no, it's not because it's brown, so you would answer no.
Sorry, I'm colourblind.
Right, okay, well, I didn't... Right, okay, are you an alien from the planet Zoid?
No.
Okay. Are you a Holocaust denier?
No. Well, I'm not a Holocaust denier. I just have to question some things. I'm definitely not anti-Semitic or anything like that. Honestly, I'm not.
Right. Okay. Right. That's fine. Okay. We'll try again. Do you find schoolgirls sexually arousing?
What kind of question is that?
Just say no.
I don't need to answer that. This is ridiculous.
To hide. Just
this is
answer
absolutely
no.
ridiculous.
I don't.
I'm not that fucking.
Come
no,
on.
that's absolutely ridiculous.
I just asked you a few.
I'm not standing for this.
Linda, can you get me... We tried another 6 questions, at which point Alan's legal team stepped in and we're unable to show you any more coverage. Needless to say, the plug was pulled on our deal, leaving me to consider my future at World of Wigan. But then an unexpected breakthrough. David Cameron was coming to Wigan. I could take my pick of issues, from fracking to the NHS. I just had to hope I could get near him.
Cameron! Out!
Just seen our very first sighting of David Cameron. Unfortunately, he's not coming out to see his people. We've been waiting here, myself, since 9 o'clock this morning. But as yet, he is the last spotted Prime Minister. You know, it's typical. I've just got a new pool table. I've put it in the spare room, and now I'm finding out I have to pay tax on top of that. Talk about being behind the blackboard.
Well, why would he take away from his wherever he is and come to Wigan when all of us are supporting, not him coming here?
Yeah, I understand that. I guess it's PR, isn't it? He's been to Salford this morning. He's doing a whistle-stop tour of the northwest, so I guess this is something that you can tick off his list.
It's like a bucket list, isn't it? It's like the last places to go, and he comes to Wigan.
And I can see that one of the 6-year-old bodies from the kids' zone is now being taken away in a casket. That, of course, sacrificed behind closed doors.
After several hours, Cameron finally appeared, but instead of using the front door as planned, he avoided the protests and slipped through the back door, meaning that I did get my scoop after all.
We don't have any more updates for you. We don't have any more than the BBC, but what's for sure is that the BBC will be reporting facts before it reaches them.
Accident and emergency during the winter, and then he went over.
I had absolutely nothing. All I could do to get any satisfaction was to indulge in my two favourite things: news reporting and subversion. This is Hers Finch for World of Wigan.
Jimmy, I'm really ill. I need the doctor.
Doctor who?
No.
No, who?
No.
Doctor who?
No.
Who?
Dr. Mark Studd.
Right, well, why didn't you say so then? Oh, he's off. He'll be back. Now it's time for our resident GP, Mark Studd, who'll be answering some of your questions.
Hello there viewers, I'm Mark Studd, and I've got yet another dose of vital health advice to administer to the good folk of Wigan. Now I'm sure over the past couple of weeks we've all seen the hard-hitting advert of St John's Ambulance promotion of first aid techniques. It was shocking enough. I'm not ashamed to say on one particular night it had me weeping into my box of Maltesers. However, while I agree that first aid is hugely important, I have to urge anyone faced with the task of helping a stricken dying person to think about the possible legal pitfalls. For instance, before you play the hero and perform the kiss of life on an infirm pensioner, think about the possibility of food transfer, a real choking hazard. A pea lodged in between his one molars could get unstuck and is transferred to the windpipe of the frail old dead pensioner. And then you've got the oddball widow on the warpath parading all the way to the civil courtyards for a £500,000 payout. I must say, any similarities this may bear to the stories you've heard recently in the press regarding a Wigan practitioner are entirely fictitious. Ian Cork of Plattbridge has contacted me with an interesting problem about his hearing. Dear Dr. Studd, he writes, in January last year I was involved in a freak industrial mishap at my workplace. Anyway, moving on to the letters, containing partially used gas canisters and a Bic lighter. The resulting blast sparked by my grudge-filled colleague, Noel Berry, has left me almost totally deaf and relying on lip reading to follow conversations. However, my wife Una has always had a rather thin, some may say cruel, mouth and tends not to move her lips at all while talking, which to be honest is preventing even the most basic communication between us. I've accused her of making life intolerable, but she says this is just my bitterness talking. What should I do? Let me be the first to offer you my sympathies. It's hard for people to appreciate the impact of hearing loss, as it's a condition that isn't immediately apparent to others. What I suggest is that you start filling in the blanks with what you want to hear. So you can hear all the things you've ever dreamed of hearing, like having the freedom to visit the supermarket at 3 o'clock in the morning, or being told you're opinionated enough to go on Question Time. You know, things like that. Let me know how it works out. Anyway, I've got another letter here from a Ruth Failure in Worsley, who asks about possible remedies for high blood pressure, as she believes her readings are caused for concern. We'll go with a technique an old friend told me a while ago, which was to surgically attach a cheap garden tap or a standpipe onto your lower thigh, and when you become worried about hypertension, the tap is opened and all the excess pressure comes flooding out. I have to mention though, this treatment is not suitable for homophiliacs and may sacrifice a limb at some point in the future. And those pesky infection rates are also very stubborn, believe me. Anyway, that's all for now. So I've been Dr. Mark Studd. Stay reasonably healthy.
A Wigan man has offered Italian authorities up to £20 million to purchase the Costa Concordia liner, which looks like being successfully salvaged after sinking in January 2012 in the Mediterranean. Pete Quaver, aged 50, of Poolstock, says he aims to offer pleasure cruises along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal starting from next March. When pointed out to him that the waterway isn't nearly wide enough to accommodate the vessel, Quaver told World of Wigan it wasn't his problem, and told us to get away from his bungalow. There was much excitement in Wigan town centre last week when veteran rocker Rod Stewart paid a visit to open a new brewery. And, while taking a tour of the site, the former Faces frontman let slip that he's penning a new concept album in which he imagined himself to be an iPad. Song titles include Smooth Screen Nights and They Can't Afford Me, although Rod confessed that he's never actually used one of the devices himself.
Why don't you get yourself a cat?
And finally, Winstanley-based historian Hilary Tate Modern is asking for help putting together a new project charting Wigan's role in the invention of television. According to local legend, broadcasting pioneer John Logie Baird transmitted footage of a man staring into space between two rooms in a detached house in Lee in the early 1920s. Precisely what the Scottish scientist was doing in the area is unclear, but Tate Modern claims it was a service he offered regularly around the country in exchange for other people's dogs, which he famously collected.
My name's Virginia Wade. What is yours? Ian McShane.
Cause that's where I find myself, baby. I leave my troubles at the door. I'd rather make it to the dance floor, just like a city. Cause that's where I find myself, baby. I leave my troubles at the door.
Hello, I'm Bobby Robbo, not to be confused with Bobby Robson, Brian Robson or Laura Robson, though if you're wondering, yeah I would. Today, I would like to focus on the rise, I meant yes to Laura Robson, not Brian or Bobby, obviously the latter would be necrophilia. Today I would like to focus on the rise of fancy dress. Fancy dress. Fancy dress is a booming business and never have 2-bit novelty shops been more popular than in the age of the stupid. That's now, by the way. But what is behind the fervour for glamour? Note to self, suggestion album title Fervour for Glamour. We can owe its popularity to an increasingly suppressed people. Cocksure young louts are dressing alike in their day-to-day life and originality is in short supply. Psychological explanation. The majority of people project their insecurities onto others. One must not stand out in the face of derision. If somebody else is daring enough to stand out, then it is one's duty to heckle the more daring person. But surely to be daring in indifference is a positive quality. The inhibited majority would have you believe they are. How they do this? Given they have never stood out in the real world, fancy dress unlocks all of those unconscious desires to stand out and exhibits all of one's unique personality. But with the safety net that everybody else is doing the same thing at the same time. Apes. In this context, apes are the type of men who laugh like oil drums at the mention of dressing up in mankinis. One must note that this idea is neither original or rare, but with the gushing approval of their inebriated friends, they suppress the truth deep down in their unconscious minds, and the bullshit prevails. Likewise, a census carried out on Wigan's Boxing Night fancy dress gathering in 2012 found that 1 in 10 people dressed up as Jimmy Savile. Furthermore, 100% of those individuals stated that beforehand they expected to be the only one who had thought of this amusing idea. This year, if we are to follow the trend, we can expect to see Rolf Harris, Michael Lavelle and Stuart Hall, because paedophilia is funny.
I'm not guilty.
I've been Bobby Robbo. I've been told to withdraw the previous statements. Michael Lavelle was acquitted.
You can't walk 50 feet in Wigan today without running into some grandiloquent eyesore. Try it, you just can't. Your ears chafe in equal measures with the sonorous cries of restaurateurs who claim to have raised the bar in concept dining. Upon hearing about Derridans of Wigan, I first felt an acute sense of relief, following by a nagging curiosity which led me here to investigate and to try it first hand. Will Derridans be all that he promises to be? A welcome haven from Wigan's den of avaricious largesse hunters. As I always say, there's only one way to find out. I'm here today to meet proprietor Derek Derridan on today's edition of Wigan Food for Wigan News. Come with me, let's go. This area of the restaurant has a palpable earthy aesthetic. Derek!
Hello. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
It's really nice to see you. Nice shoes. You're a bit early, actually. Sorry. It was a bit rainy earlier.
Good turnout today.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're here, actually. I thought they might have been coming to drop off an egg timer that I ordered from Matalan earlier on. But, I don't know.
What? Where do I sit?
Oh, I'll take you over.
What?
Just through here.
Lovely. There are no pretensions here. Where you sit is up to you. As I wanted to experience Derridans at its best, I went with the best seat in the house. Lovely. Safe as houses. Could you bring me a menu, please?
Yes. I suppose I better make one up. Yeah. Sorry, what was I going in for?
Just a menu, and can I have a carafe of mineral water, please? At a brasserie as popular as Derridans, you might think you need to shout from the rooftops to get the attention of a waiter, but that couldn't be further from the truth, thankfully, because I was seen right away.
Oh, there we are.
Cheers. The only concept you'll find here honest to goodness service. That's not to say that Derridans is some soulless feedback. See, there's music. Lovely.
There were many adventurous and exotic dishes on the menu, but in the end I decided to go with the peas.
The peas? That's an odd choice. Can't think why anyone would want to choose the peas. I don't like peas, I might add. Are you sure you don't want anything else?
No, mine's made up. I'm going with peas.
Peas it is.
What?
I'll go and get them. Oh why did he choose the peas? I'd like to bring onion, just once if you please.
What really sets this place apart from the current crop, bromidic brassiers, is the sense of theatre. I mean, they're not afraid to shock here, you know, not afraid to bring you something that's out of the ordinary.
Just reading here about some foreign literature. Here are the peas.
Lovely.
There you go. Don't touch that one, that's mine.
A piquant critique of neoliberalism with a crunchy, honeyed aftertaste.
I'm afraid you're going to have to go now because I'm at a farm zone in a minute and the set-top box is broken. So I can't record it, and I need to listen to the theme tune in order to sleep at night, so...
Ah well, rules are rules. It's been fantastic. Thank you very much for showing me around today, Derek. And yeah, brilliant. Alright. At Derridans, the food, though excellent, plays a supportive role to the convivial atmosphere, and that's why I'm awarding this week's venue 4.5 chicken liver parfaits. Don't forget to clock out Wigan Food next week as I take a VIP tour of one of Wigan's premier abattoirs. This is Cliff for Wigan Food, for Wigan News, tucking out.
World of Wigan, sponsored by the police.
Well, get those thermals on. Winter has truly arrived. Thank you for the pictures you've been sending in. This one was sent in to us by Nerys and Richard Springs from Wrexham on a walk through their local park. That's another one sent by Nerys and Richard, looking like they're enjoying a hot tub there. And holding some sausages there. I'm not sure what that is. And some friends, perhaps, in the tub. If you are going to send us in pictures, please try and limit them to one. I can see a theme developing here. Can we take them off, please? The weather's looking a little self-conscious today for this time of year, like a dog slipping on ice or an early Diana. But don't worry, there'll be no landmines for us in the northwest, unless you're in Preston tomorrow, where the 42 Brigade will be demonstrating anti-terror runs. So do watch out for live rounds being used in the area. Moving slightly up north, if you're planning on a road trip to Blackpool this weekend, don't bother. The lights have been bought in auction by Noel Edmonds. Let's hope he's not revamping Mr. Blobby's theme park unless he's holding all-night raves with Class A drugs, in which case I'll be first in line. Moving east, and if you can avoid the race wars and outright destruction of Burnley's town centre on Friday, we'll see the day's first cloud at around 10 o'clock. before some violent rain at around 11 o'clock, that rain cloud turning misogynistic late on. Let's hope that doesn't rain on the BNP's parade there, or let's hope it does, depending on your level of hate/morality. Moving south, if you were thinking of attending Oldham's home game with Mansfield, think again. The forecaster's predicting 5 feet of rain. Enough to cover deck, but not quite ant. And I'm sure that Lionel Messi should be fine if he fancies a trip to Boundary Park. Bring back the plastic pitch, I say. But what about us folk in Wigan? Mrs. Scott rang into the show worried that a typhoon was about to hit Wigan. Well, don't worry. The only typhoon you'll be getting is in your tea. Typhoon, that is. It might be a little cold, but nothing a hug off a hoodie won't fix. Although you might want to wear a bulletproof vest if the news is anything to go by. And let's be honest, it isn't. So for the outlook, I'll be out of a job, and not because of that last line. But I'm not wearing a pink ribbon. That's your lot. See you in the job queue.
Do you know what? I mean, when you think about having a blind date, you think of all the things that you want to say, and all the things you don't want to say, and then all the other things that you might say, and all the things you're thinking at the same time. The problem is, it's such a minefield. Is she going to be gorgeous? Is she going to be ugly? Is she going to have a sense of humour? Is she going to enjoy your company? Or is she going to be looking at her watch? Clock watching. That happens a lot. Well, what do you expect, you know? I mean, the way things are these days, it's all fast, fast, fast. Nobody wants to take time anymore like they used to. So when it comes to dating, it's a minefield, and if you tread on the mine, you'll get blown to bits. All I can say is I just hope that this gorgeous creature that I hope will turn up does. Because the one thing about dating is that I don't tell lies. I don't have to be who I'm not. I am me. I am Stevie Ocean. I don't have to be a racing car driver, or a fireman, or a secret agent. I'm me. And that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your date.
What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do
when I'm alone with only dreams of you that won't come true? What'll I do that won't come true? What'll I do?
I'll see you in court, mate.
You will not see
I'll see you in court.
You will not see me in court. Sorry, sir.
Don't I know you from another scene?
You want fabric?
No.
£3.
Right.
You want tour guide?
No.
£3.
How much is parking?
Parking? £3. A fist up the ass is priceless. Hang on.
Alright, mate. How much is parking?
Parking?
Yeah.
£3.
Is that alright? It's alright, mate.
Park over there.
Okay. Alright, mate. Yeah, right.
£3.
Hey?
£3.
Yeah, I'll give you £3, mate.
No, £3 in, £3 out.
£3 in, £3 out. Are you joking, mate?
It's £3 to come in and £3 for you to go out.
That's bloody ridiculous. He didn't tell us that when we were in.
I'll keep the change. I did do the wipers, yeah. I sleep very well though. My wife, she has asthma, but she sleeps in our room.